want to welcome you all to this amazing poetry slam and storytelling. We're going to have some amazing superheroes who are young women telling their stories, and then we will have some of our community leaders also. Actually, we're going to have the young women telling us, sharing some of their poetry, which is original, and then we'll later hear from some of our community leaders who are going to share their stories. For the last 21 years, during the month of June, the entire world comes together to honor World Refugee Day. On this day, we're asked to spend time focusing on ways that we should and can honor, uphold, respect, empower, and improve the lives of refugees. We see in the news refugee crises happening all over the world, and this country's intentional neglect of refugees over the last 4 years was quite frankly shameful. It was a stain on our nation and its commitments and obligations to refugee rights and human rights. So today, it's more important, now more than ever, to support and to celebrate World Refugee Day. We're blessed and fortunate to live in a state here in Connecticut that welcomes and honors our refugee families. To those of you who are here and came to this country as refugees and who now call Connecticut your home, thank you for choosing us. Thank you for your contributions and for making our state stronger, more vibrant, and more diverse. So we're going to celebrate some amazing leaders in this community who are both poets and storytellers, as I shared earlier. We're going to start a program with some youth leaders who are going to recite their own original poetry. I had the fortune of spending time with them earlier today, and they are all amazing young women. They are superheroes, and Azir over here is going to help me with the microphone, as she's been hanging out with these young poets. So Azir, come on up and help me with the microphone, and let us start with our first poet, Malak Al-Sadi. Malak is 11 years old. She's originally from Iraq, and she's going to be reciting her poem, Feeling of Home. Come on up, Malak. And let's show her some love. Is that all right?
Yes. Hello everyone, my name is Malak, and today I will be reading my poem, Feelings of Home. It was really peaceful. There weren't any loud neighbors. There weren't any people screaming, fighting. It was silent. We were all happy, when all of a sudden, this is too much to carry around. Losing a family member is like losing one of your 9 lives. My grandpa always gave me $5 to go to some store and buy snacks. We drank tea together, we ate chocolate chip cookies, we laughed together, he made silly faces, we played hide and seek and tag, and we ate eggs. They were delicious. After he passed away, I had no idea what was going on. It was when I was little, really little. But when I got older, I realized he was both my grandpa and my friend. He just made me feel like, I don't know. He made me feel like I was at home. My relationship with home is complicated. For me, home is where I have many cousins and many friends. Home is where I spend most of my time joking around with my family. Having no friends makes me sad, even when the days go bad. Nobody around, no one to play with me, as pain glides through my soul. As my body burns like coal, I have to cry, to leave all the pain out. As I scream through my jaws, asking for help, with nobody around, to look far out. If I go out, I won't be able to find my way in. As they cover the exit, full of sadness, with no way in, with no place full of happiness, I will stay locked out, with my body covered in coal. I tried not thinking of my grandpa much and asking myself why I was always crying when I thought of him. He's gone. He's gone and you don't have to worry about it. He's in a better place now. He's next to you every day. When you're eating, he'll be there. When you're watching, he'll be there. When you're at school, he'll be there. When you're playing Minecraft, he'll be there too. My brother always reminds me of my grandpa. Me and him do those activities together to keep our grandpa in mind. He was both my grandpa and my friend. He just made me feel like, I don't know, he made me feel. He made me feel like I was at home. Thank you. Good night, Iris.
Thank you, Malak. I'm gonna ask to come up on stage this amazing woman whose name is Divine Mahundi. Divine is from Congo Brazzaville, and she's gonna recite her self-titled poem called Divine.
Hi everyone. Today we will talk about divine. Divine in the third person, because I wanted to share a little bit about divine journeys to America, the life that she thought she would have, and the struggles she never expected she would have to fight and show the world that her too matters, her life, her decisions, her mistakes, or decisions that she'd made in her past are reflecting the life that she's living right now, that she's also a person who matters. So the journey of Divine starts in Congo Brazzaville, this little girl who was born in the city of Dolisie, a little city in the Congo where it's in the middle of nowhere and kind of produce agriculture. Divine grew up and had to move to Brazzaville so she can meet her parents, her dad, that she never met before. Divine is a very preserved person, a girl who grew up in her own world, a girl who's different, who has a different personality. And Divine was born with two personalities, which can be kind of strange. In America, you guys say it's a zodiac sign. She's a Scorpio, so definitely her mood changes depending on the person that she's meeting during the day. Divine has two personalities. Coming to America was a very hard and long journey for Divine. When she had to flee her country, Divine had to make a decision of fleeing, not because she was too coward to fight back the battle that she was facing, but because she decided to survive. She made the decision of surviving. She made the decision of building a new life because she believed home could be anywhere with anyone. As long as she has people that love her, who are surrounded her, she can build and make a home anywhere and everywhere she's standing. Divine came to America and had to build a shield, a new personality to protect her against the world that she knew was a world of men who were ruling, men who were making rules. So she had to come up with a second Divine. And that second Divine was very different. She is mean. She is cold. She gives her opinion. She has a strong opinion about life. She doesn't really care about who she's gonna hurt because she's been hurt before. So that sweet little girl who grew up in Brazzaville had to build that mean, cold girl who doesn't care about anybody because she did not want to be hurt again as she did in the past. Divine believed that anyone who come in your life will just take and leave you empty-handed. So she built that second Divine who was cold to protect her against the world, against the meanness, against the racism, against the Islamophobic that she had to face in this new world. On her way inside of the airplane, Divine reminded of the Congo. Her grandfather used to say, once a door is being opened right in front of you, there is another one that will be built right in front of that door. So use the window. Don't use that door. He would say, use the window. And if there is no window, try to dig under the ground. You're going to find a way out, but do not use that door. Divine never get it. She always thought, why would you tell me if there is a door, then I must use the door? And the guy will be, no, you got to use the window. Never use the door because when you use the door, You get out, and you will find yourself in front of another door. Then you're going to try to fight that door, but that door has been made so they can hold you back. So the people will use you in their advantage, and you will never go forward in life. So don't use that door. Try to use the window. And if there is no window, dig a wall. You will find a way out, but do not use that door. Coming to America was a long journey. She had to learn about racism. She also had to learn about how making friendship, a true friendship, something that she would feel will last forever and she will never feel betrayed. So when she meets a person the first time, the vine will give you a cold face, a mean person. She will be mean to you, not because she wants to, but because she wants to protect herself. She's afraid of opening that sweet, loving little girl to the world so the world can destroy more of what has been left. So she gives you that cold face because she's afraid of what people will think. Her biggest fear was judgment. The vine was afraid of being judged. She was afraid of people's opinion might change her just because she wouldn't recognize herself anymore in this new world. So the vine had to learn the hard way that not everybody that come into your life are there just to harm you. Some of them you can make the best friendship ever. The vine met this new girl at her school. Her name was Rumi. And when she first met her, the first day, both of them look at each other and say, "We can never be best friends. We're so different." The vine was cold, Rumi was full of joy, and she said, "You can never be my best friend. You are really different. You're cold. You're mean." And 3 years later, they're calling each other sister. How did it happen? I have no idea. But somehow they find a way of passing through those differences of color, differences of religion, of belief, of a lifestyle that they never had before. But they overcame all those differences. They built a friendship, something that was strong, built on a good belief that together they are not there to complete each other, but together they build each other up. Noor Rumi showed the vine that she can believe in other people. She does not have to sacrifice her happiness all the time or give her all to everybody. Into a friendship, it's not about 50-50, it's about 100-100. We'll build each other up. Make sure in all your relationship that you're making with people, you are building each other up. You are there to fulfill each other's path, to show the person their mistakes when they're making one, to show the person their goodness when they're making good action. So she learned that. And today, this woman is standing right here as a sister, an aunt, a mother, maybe a wife, a grandmother one day. But mostly, she hoped to be one day a lawyer that can help others as she was helped in before, to show them that choosing to run, to leave your country, to start a new life, it's not a coward decision. It's a decision that you choose to survive, to overcome. Not everybody get that second chance of restarting everything. So once you get that chance, the chance will never knock on your door. No, never. As the past that we have of refugees and immigrants, running away, it's not a chance that come and say, "Hey, do you want to come on my back and let's go?" No. You see the opportunity, you catch it. It doesn't wait for you. It never comes twice. So when you get it one time, you have it. Do not regret that decision that you made of running away, because you will never know what the future holds. Today, she's standing here fully of dreams of becoming a person, of having a word in this society. Our word is not bad, but as people, we make it wrong because we hate each other. We do not want to see each other succeed. We do not want to see each other because our differences, it's what we see as a problem. But sometimes our differences is what make this world beautiful. Because you and me, we don't have the same skin color, doesn't mean it's a problem. It's a beauty. If we all look like, then what would this world be like? We shouldn't all look like. We shouldn't all believe in the same thing. We should all have different opinions about life. And that's what makes our beauty. And that's the divine journey to America. Learning that sometimes differences can make the most beautiful thing in this world. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Divine.
Well, that was divine. Our next amazing poet is Lamise Dagum. Lamise is originally from the Nuba Mountains in Sudan. She is 13 years old, and she's going to soon be a ninth grader at the Engineering and Science University Magnet School in West Haven this fall. She's going to recite her poem, which is titled The Life Our Ancestors Gave Us. Come on up, Lamise.
Hi, my name is Lamise, and today I'll be sharing a little bit of Sudanese culture. The life our ancestors gave us. As we walk into the house, we are welcomed by the soft smell of bahur. As we walk into a tukur, we are welcomed by the warm smell of food, like kisra and stew. Kisra is like a crepe that is thin and sour, sometimes a crunch to the crust. We use it to scoop the mulkhia stew. Mulkhia is green and yolky. To use a spoon would be disrespectful to the dish. When you use your hands, you mix the kisra with the mulkhia stew. The textures flow better in every bite. As sisters walk into the closet, we are greeted by the clothes, in blue, purple, yellow, or any shade you can imagine. From casual to fancy. The taubes we put on at home when someone visits are usually casual cotton like a soft sheet, sometimes plain, sometimes with chill designs, different patterns like flowers and leaves. The taubes you wear at parties are more dramatic and fancy. You make a grand entrance with things that shine like diamonds. The fabric is light silk because we sweat at parties, especially sisters. Because we greet everyone with hugs. If you arrive late, no matter how crowded, you follow your mom to greet as many people as possible before you sit down to eat kisra with stew and catch up with people. After we eat, we dance our hearts out. When it's time to leave, you are exhausted. This is the culture our ancestors gave us. Thank you.
Thank you, Lamise. Now I want to dance, and it's making me, your poem made me hungry, so your food. Tanim Musa is our next poet. She is 13 years old, and she's originally from Syria. Tasneem is going to recite her essay, which is called What Are You Dreaming For? And actually, before we got started, she shared a fun fact. And she told me that she used to hate writing. She dreaded it. And then all of a sudden, she kept at it, and she found that she could share a powerful point of view through her writing. So let's show her some love.
Hi everyone, my name is Tasneem, and I am here today to read you my essay that I wrote to celebrate Dr. Luther King. But most importantly, I am here today to hopefully inspire some of you guys. So let's get started, and I hope you enjoy it. What are you dreaming for? I may be young, and I may come from a small country, but that will never stop me from dreaming big dreams. People might not see the potential in me because I come from Syria, which is unknown to people. To be honest, I don't know anything about the war there, except that I was a young child, 2.5 years old. Of course, when I think about Syria, I think about the war, about the soldiers telling us to hide when we went out to do the laundry. But other things I remember were when my dad used to bring me toys, when my cousins would come to play and I would just start yelling, and they were so nice to me. People who are still stuck in Syria dream about small things, like getting out of there, going to school, having enough food and water to survive. To us, who don't need to deal with these situations, think it's so small of a dream, but to them, it's bigger than we'll ever imagine. I thankfully got out of there when I was 4 years old. We traveled on foot to Jordan. Even though I was born in Syria, Jordan was a bigger part of my life because everything was going wrong, and when I got there, I felt like I was saved. I don't remember any sad things. I was around my family, I had my friends, and I loved my school. I knew our neighborhood as much as I knew my name. We lived right next to the hills. I can still remember it in my head. I loved coming down the street and seeing them. But there were some disadvantages, like the time I lost a cartwheel I was playing with. If I sat from today to tomorrow, I won't be able to talk about my experience. My heart was clear. I wasn't stressed about all the things I am now. Now that I'm older, I've started to dream bigger. I have more than one dream, but it all leads to the same thing. I dream of people getting treated fairly. I dream of people loving themselves and having confidence in themselves. I dream of a peaceful, comfortable, and safe world where everyone feels happy. And I feel like there's only one way we can make that dream possible for everyone. We all need to work together to achieve it. Because if we're all separated, we can't. It's not just for this dream. For any dream out there, you need someone by your side helping you and giving you confidence to continue and achieve it. You might say that I am confident, and it's easy for me to say. But I wasn't that a year ago. I started to have confidence in myself and loving myself when I started to understand the message by a group of K-pop singers called BTS. BTS changed my life. They inspired me to love and speak for myself. They taught me the meaning of hard work. And still, they keep on inspiring me every day. I want people to feel comfortable and supported. One day, I want to be like BTS. I want people to be inspired by me, and maybe this is my chance. By being able to say my dreams and my story, people can learn from what I have been through, and that it didn't stop me from dreaming big dreams. Maybe people can say that they can dream big dreams, tell their stories, and be confident in themselves too, and say, I can change the world. This world is full of hard times, but the person who gets through them is the one that can get strength from them. And in the end, your greatest pains become your greatest strength. Especially right now, no one's connected because of COVID. But I remember when I was in Jordan, we were like family, and that gives me hope that the world can change. It's okay to fall once, twice, and 3 times, but you need to be ready to get back on your feet stronger than ever. And everyone suffers in their life. There are many sad days, but rather than sad days, we hope to have better days. That's what makes us live, and that's what makes us dream. Because when you are going through tough times, just start dreaming about how you want the future to be. And it reminds me of a quote I really love. It says, if you're not mad or sad, you'll never know when you're happy. I am 100% sure that in this world, everyone has a kind heart, but some people are afraid to show it for any reason out there. So we all need to open our kind hearts, hold each other's hands, and support each other so we can make this dream or any dream possible. Thank you.
Malak, Divine, Lamise, Kaznim, our beautiful, amazing superhero poets. Let's please show them some love. Stand up, Divine. Stand up. Yeah. Woo! Thank you. All right, we're going to now switch to the storytelling portion of our show. It brings me great joy to introduce our first storyteller, Fatima Alhelo. Let's congratulate Fatima for becoming an American citizen last month. Fatima has been with Sanctuary's Kitchen since it got started. Fatima, come on up.
Hi everyone, my name is Fatima. I live in New Haven with my family, my husband and our 3 kids. We have been in the US for 5 years and a half. Since we came to the US, we were so excited to learn that we could get citizenship in 5 years. We were always looking forward to applying for it. At the beginning, I wanted it because it's a better future for me and my family. But there were many things that I did not understand. I didn't know that it would be a bumpy road. One shock I had when I learned that people thought of us as uneducated or lower class because of wearing our hijab. One day I met a man in a mall and he looked at me and said, "Go back to your country." I was so sad. I cried a lot, and I told this to my friend who said, "It's nobody's country. People from all over the world come to the US and become Americans." At this moment, I felt like I have to work really hard and be prepared to apply for my citizenship. Another shock I had when I learned that I wasn't allowed to travel to see my family. I had a Syrian friend who wanted to travel to Jordan to see her family, and she was not allowed to because this is where we came from as refugees. So when I heard of this, I was so sad, and I realized that the only way to be able to travel and see my family is to be citizen. When I came to the US, my son was 5 years old. So he knows his parents, his grandparents, and his cousins, and he loves them. He always asks, "Mommy, when are we visiting?" When they have video call, he feels like he's happy and sad at the same time. He's happy that they're laughing, that they're talking, and he's sad that he's away from them. I feel like he really needs to be with them. And that also makes me more motivated to work really hard and to get the citizenship also for my son. But at times it was confusing. At the time, when it was the time for me to apply for citizenship, it was COVID time. So the lawyer told me it usually takes 10 to 12 months to get the interview notice. But for me, it was totally different. I called my mom and I said, "I finally applied for my citizenship, and now it's your job to pray that I pass it." She said, she told me that it would be fine and I would pass it, that I am a hard worker, and she would pray for me. In 1 month, I found out that they had gotten my application. In 1 more month, they called me for an interview. I was so shocked. When I get the interview notice in the mail, I didn't know, should I laugh or cry, be happy or sad? I really wanted it to be fast, but I was expecting that it would take months. And the notice was only 1 month in advance, so I only had 1 month to study. I asked a lot of people around. Some people told me it's hard, some told me it was easy, so I had to study very hard, and I had to even study even more like an extra questions. When I went to the interview, I was well prepared, and it was so easy, so I passed. I called my mom. I sent her a picture of me with the flag. She was so happy. She called my sister and had something sweet to eat and celebrate. I feel like now I'm so motivated that I have something I'm working toward. I am really motivated to continue working so I can be financially able to travel and see my family. And I'm also excited to continue studies in the United States. I might study something related to translation. When I came here with no English, I felt like having good interpreters was super helpful. So I think we should always have great interpreters, and that would help people come here in my position. I feel now like I can tell that man that the United States is also my country. I feel like having citizenship is going to make me stronger in this country, and that it's also my country and nobody can tell me to leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Fatima. Our next storyteller is Abir Youssef. Originally from Daraa, Syria, Abir has lived in New Haven since 2016. And those of you who have had the fortune of eating those za'atar rolls, she makes them. Come on up, Abir.
Hello everyone, I am Abir. I am happy to be with you today, and I tell you about my journey from my home country of Syria to the place where I stand today. Syria is where I was born and lived my childhood. That is where I used to be together with my family, friends, and neighbors. Syria lies in the heart of the Arab world. It is one of the oldest countries in history. It has had many regions and has been a center of learning. I am proud of my country. But one day, without notice, my city Dar'a is in the south of Syria was bombed. It was March 2011. That day, light turned to darkness and justice to injustice. There was killing of innocent people that left behind bodies of dead children and grieving mother. If you stay, there was no other choice. Either you worked, or killed, or imprisoned. So, like 10 million other Syrians, me and my family, my husband, and 6 children were forced to leave our home and enter into the world of the unknown. My family fled to Jordan 2012. On this day, we became Syrian refugees in Jordan. I titled that only those who tested it will know the test batteries. But we are people who do not know, surrender, and do not accept humiliation in Jordan. I connect to educate my children, and I work as a teacher in Arabic. Then I joined the international recycle positions, where disturbed by war and heart were broken. Hope did that I would return to my home. My key is still under the rose bush by the front door. After a number of years, we were surprised to receive an invitation from the United States of America for resettlement. I felt many things. Joy, because a new opportunity for the children to grow up with a future, safety, and jobs. And pain, because I had to leave my parents. I will not forget my father and my mother when they said goodbye to me. Feeling that we would never meet again, I had no other choice. We traveled together and we arrived in the United States of America in August 8, 2016. It was time that happiness and sadness came together. We had a new homeland, a new language, and a new life. But there were many challenges. Even the simplest things were very difficult because we did not know the language. But God always sent you a helping hand. It was Iris. This organization felt like a big family to us. I entered the English language program and I made a promise myself that my dream would have no limits. I would build a future for my children because they deserve this country. They are the ones who will make history one day. In 2016, I gave birth to my seventh child, a boy named Amir. We have been here for almost 5 years. Thank you, United States of America, welcoming my family. Thank you to all of the American people, anyone who gave me a smile or help. I am proud of my new country, my new friends, and my new neighbors. I am proud of my husband and children for what they have achieved. I am proud myself too. Now I am studying at Gateway toward association degree, and I am in the training program at Center Kitchen, where I am employed as a chef. I am so happy. I have been fulfilling my dream in the United States, but I am not going to stop here. There is a lot more felt to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abir. Our next storyteller is Azar Ahmed. Azar also hails from the Nuba mountain region of Sudan. She recently started Kumi's Dream, which is a project to nourish the homeless in New Haven. She's going to tell us a little bit more about how she was inspired to do this. And let's welcome Azar. Come on up.
June means for me a lot of things. It's not just a month. I have a lot of feeling in June. Sadness, happenings, endings, beginnings. This is month when my dad passed away. When I came here to America, I came to America in June 22nd. 2015. So I have been here six years in the United States. I graduated from law school also in June. I first registered at community college on June 13, 2016. My daughter graduated from middle school 2 weeks ago. This month, World Refugee Day, a lot. Today I want to share with you a program that I created. Sorry. Program that I started because of a dream recently had of my dad. In Manova Mountains, they named the children by order. Kumi is the child number 4, which my dad names Kumi. Kumi's dream is a project that I created to cook and donate food for hungry and homeless people in New Haven. I shared the idea with Sanctuary Kitchen team, and they support my idea when I asked the other chef if they are willing to be with me. They were so happy. They are so excited. They say, yes, we are going to be with you. So I create Kumi's dream. We partnered with Downtown Evening Soap Kitchen to bring them hot meal they deliver to their client. We use the kitchen as Sanctuary Kitchen to prepare our meals. We meet 2 times a month with a group of chefs. We make our menus based to our cultural tradition food. For example, from Sudan, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, and Mauritius. We receive the support to prepare the food from friends, families. I wanted to create Kumi's dreams after I had a dream. I saw my father who had passed away. In my culture, when you see someone just passed away, in your dream, that means you have to give people who need food. When my dad was alive, he used to support people, help them. The people in my city, Khartoum, in Sudan, who came after the war. They are not employed, they need medical care, stay to place. He helped them for everything they need. My dad helped me to see the war differently. He taught me that I can do anything I want, but never hurt anyone, but help them. Many people did bad things to him. And disappoint him, but he forgave them. He never stopped helping them. I still remember when I was younger, I had the idea of robber. They are not like any person. They are not like normal like us. Maybe they have more hands, more legs, big ears, like many eyes. I still remember that one day, then I was younger. My dad had grocery store at the corner of our house. We heard many times a lot of people came to store some stuff from him. One day he caught one, and he made for him a sandwich. And he asked me if I can bring for him water and asked my mom to prepare tea for him. I was like, huh? I had a lot of feeling. He was just normal guy. He looks like us. I brought him, as my dad asked me to do, some water, tea. When the neighbor, my cousin, they heard the news about the robber, they came. They see him like my dad just treating him well. They say, why your dad treat the guy so well? He's just robber. My dad didn't listen to them. He ended him driving somewhere far to protect him. And he cannot get trouble. This message I got from this story, it is sometimes people do bad things that are not their choice. They need someone to teach them what is wrong, what is right. They need people to treat them well. My dad was given the rabbit this message, and maybe he can become a good person. So, before I end, I want to thank you for listening to my story. I was happy to share with you about my dad and how his memory led me to become who I am. The World Refugee Day seems we cannot walk alone. I can relate that message to my story, just I shared it with you. My dad helped guide and teach me. From that, I tried to think of my community, help them, and along the way, the Sanctuary Kitchen team and my fellowships joined me to create something new and special. We all need each other to make the world a better place. We cannot walk alone. Thank you.
We were hoping to have Gladys with us today, Gladys Melillo. She is originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and she too recently became a U.S. citizen. But she's really busy. She unfortunately couldn't be with us today. Gladys recently also graduated from the Central Connecticut State University. I am going to recite this poem on her behalf. She wrote it. It's called A Human, and Gladys, I hope I do right by you. When you look at me, you see a young refugee. When you talk to me, you hear a young immigrant with a thick accent. Have you ever wondered who else I could be? I am a child, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a student, a coworker. And I am a citizen of this world, a citizen you share this world with. Just because my home was taken away from me, it doesn't make me less of a human. I am a human with the right to exist, a human with the right to breathe, a human you share this world with. That was Gladys's poem. To close out our program today, we're going to hear from two leaders in our community. Sumaya Khan, who is the program director and co-founder of Sanctuary Kitchen, and Chris George, who's been the executive director of IRIS for the last 10 years. And I'm going to ask Sumaya to come on up first. And let's show some love to Aziz, who's been helping with a microphone.
Good afternoon. Thank you to all the talented performers today, the youth of IRIS and the chefs of Sanctuary Kitchen. You did an amazing job. It's been a privilege and honor to partner with IRIS since our inception in 2017. Through our important work, as we saw today, we see the very real impact of creating opportunities for our newest neighbors and creating community. Even though we haven't been able to have our annual World Refugee Day food bazaar as we have had, before the pandemic, we see how we have emerged beautifully today to celebrate and honor the refugees who have made Connecticut their new home. At Sanctuary Kitchen, we are privileged daily to witness their resilience, their strength, their creativity, and generosity. We are so proud and inspired by their accomplishments and achievements as they grow into leaders and entrepreneurs in our community. Thank you for sharing your skills, talents, stories, and culture to create a more diverse, inclusive, and vibrant community. This year's theme of World Refugee Day is Together We Heal, Learn, and Shine. And we have seen that beautifully today. Thank you.
Why don't I get the mic adjusted? Yeah. They told me this was a poetry slam. My name is Chris George, and I've written a poem. So, thank you for celebrating World Refugee Day. There isn't much more I want to say. I seem to be rhyming, so you might want to stay. Welcoming refugees and immigrants, it's a job we do with glee, with amazing support from you, the community. The stories and the talent of new Americans is clear for us to hear and see. Compare my silly rhymes with their amazing poetry. So we have a new government. I'm sure you're aware. We expect the administration to be compassionate and fair after struggling through a 4-year humanitarian nightmare. Am I slamming or what? We hope to welcome people from places like Afghanistan, Congo, Honduras, and Syria too. Welcoming immigrants is what we do. But we're going to need a lot of help from you. Help from partners like the incredible Sanctuary Kitchen. Thank you to all the staff, the volunteers, the interns, our friends, our donors who believe in this mission. Thank you all for celebrating World Refugee Day. Look forward to working with all of you over the next few years. And another round of applause for the incredible people who shared their stories and read their poems. And our MC, Kica Matos. And the Whitneyville Cultural Center here, thank you for having us. Most of all, thank you to all of you. We can't do this without you. Thanks a lot. Happy World Refugee Day.